Hi,
Hi,
how are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm excited because it's our first virtual video episode of That Black Couple. We've been around for like 8 years, and now people are going to see us live in a living color.
Yeah, and I'm excited about it, but I'm gonna tell you, and I'm gonna tell all the listeners and watchers now, it's gonna be a little bit of a struggle for me. Usually when I'm doing something like this on video, I have my government job going, and I have my code switch voice going, and so it's gonna take a little bit of practice
Goodness.
to train it out of me. Okay,
Well, I'm glad they finally get to see you and all your shenanigans. So, this is episode 1 of season 8 of That Black Couple.
season eight,
Grab, huh?
season eight.
Don't be interrupting me.
Go ahead.
Thank you. This is episode 1 of season 8 of That Black Couple. Grab your water, your agua fresca, have a seat. This is That Black Couple. I'm Jen.
And I'm Darren.
Before we get started, make sure you follow us on Threads and Instagram at That BOK Couple, on Facebook at That Black Couple, and look us up on the internet at www.thatblackcouple.com.
And you can stream our episodes everywhere: Google Play, iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and now you can also watch us on YouTube.
Oh my
But
gosh.
but listen, wherever you find us, whether you're watching us, whether you're just listening to us, make sure you rate us high because we take that shit very personally. Okay,
Oh my gosh, this is getting so intense. This is like a
I
real, oh my
know
God, we're a real
it's
podcast.
it's a whole new world.
I think since we are doing something new, we have to reintroduce ourselves. People are going to be seeing our faces for the first time. It's a very different world than it was in 2017 or whatever when we started. So I would like to use this first episode, maybe the first 2 episodes, just to let people know who we are and how we became Jen and Darren behind That Black Couple. What do you think?
Sure. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so let's start from the beginning.
Way back.
August 2002.
Whew,
Remember
okay.
that? Where was you
Uh,
standing? Where was you standing when I first saw you?
if I remember correctly, I was standing in line for some chicken.
That's right. That's right.
For some fried chicken.
That's
That's
right.
where I was.
That's right. Here we are, freshmen. I was 17 years old, just got to the University of Southern California and moved on to the black floor, the floor named Somerville Scholars. And I was there with my mother. You were there with your parents. And yes, when I bumped into you, you were at the chicken table. That's right. That's right. And we were both very annoyed. You were irritated with your dad. I was irritated with my mom. And it's funny because I remember that so well. I remember seeing you. I remember us both having this like look of like exasperation with our parents. And who would have known? Who would have known back then that we would end up being in each other's lives for the next 2 decades?
Yeah.
That's nuts. That's
So
nuts.
so much has come from the chicken line
The
on the
chicken
black
line,
team
child,
floor.
on the black floor. And so we spent that whole couple first days of moving, getting to know each other, had our little trust falls where we basically whooped everybody's ass. And they can all pretend like it didn't happen that way, but it absolutely did. I mean, and I know it wasn't a competition per se. There was no like winning because it was supposed to be building trust. But if there was a prize,
There,
we would
it's
have
it's
won.
all. Oh, that's what they told us. They said this is not a competition, like,
They
and
get too
because
serious.
we were doing so much better than everyone else, they kept trying to make it harder on us, and they're like,
Yeah.
you're missing the point. But
Yeah.
if you lay a challenge before us, we're gonna rise to the challenge every
Taurus,
time.
Virgo, we're gonna win. And it was also interesting. I do remember specifically about that time that people kept asking us if we knew each other. I remember them being like, "Did y'all go to high school together? Were y'all already friends?" And we had to keep telling people, "No, we do not know each other. Like this guy is a stranger. He's just really smart, and I enjoy his company." But
Sometimes you just vibe. Sometimes
yeah,
you just meet someone and you just vibe, you just click. Whether you knew each other in past lives, whether your signs align, whatever the case may be, the vibe is right. And the vibe was just right.
I was right. And I honestly think it was a little bit of all that for both of us. I think we both grew up with single moms. We are earth signs. We read books. you know, similar interests. And those first couple days were really lovely. I will never forget, looking for you and not wanting to hang out with all those strangers and trying to sit next to you on the bus. Our Brian McKnight moment where I was singing Never Felt This Way. And you're like, I love that song. And I was like, I love that song. And then I started singing it, and then the whole bus turns around and sees us. And it's like, oh my gosh, this is a Sister Act 2 moment. Oh my goodness, kind of thing. So those first couple of days were really, to me, very fairy tale. Like I feel like they were very, I mean, it seemed scripted almost the way we became friends.
And to me, it's kind of like there's a whole lot of who knew what would happen. Like who knew from that we would, they fall in love, get married, have kids, move all around the country. Who knew Brian McKnight would prove himself to be a trash individual?
Oh no.
You just never know.
No.
Those 17 and 18-year old, two of us had no clue what was on the way.
No. And we spent the whole year basically being best friends. I mean, you were my bestest friend in a very difficult time in my life. I was unhoused and I was navigating, having this separation from my parents and my family and my community. I was going to school long distance from Oakland to LA, and you were more local. And so it was almost like, it was almost perfect the way it was set up for us to kind of be drawn together. So do you want to tell folks? I think you should tell them about the way we became a relationship, because really, 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 if we're being honest, really, it was you that almost put that in jeopardy. It was you that was doing that sort of kind of maybe unclear stuff. And I think you should just share that with viewers and listeners, because truly, I was ready to go. I was all in, and you were playing games.
To be clear. So you just gave your background and kind of like how you were having a difficult time. It's a difficult point in your life. You had a lot going on, a
Hmm.
lot of uncertainty. Very true.
Yes.
Um, for me, that freshman year, it was a very big year for me because I had decided this was my this is my stepping out year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a very reserved, introverted, quiet person.
Hmm.
I generally don't like messing with people to get on my nerve, right? I like to stay in the house, right? And I said, you know what, Darren, you graduated high school, you going to college, you living on the black floor,
Hmm.
you go and you talk to people and you be open and you share yourself and you lay it all out. And so that's what I did. Okay. Now, to be clear, I was not quite equipped
No.
to
No.
do all of that. That was new for me.
I don't think either one of us was, just to be clear. I mean,
Yeah,
that was some shit.
it was a lot. And to be clear, like I met you, and like I said, we vibed from day one, and it was kind of like, oh, this is cool. I found someone I vibe with, and like a lot of other stuff came with that I was not planning on. And I'm a planner, and when things happen that go outside of my plan, it throws me off a little bit. And so there was, I can't remember what show it was. Was it Cedric the Entertainer?
Cedric the Entertainer, yes.
Entertainer, Cedric the Entertainer show. We went to a taping of the Cedric the Entertainer
Okay,
show.
you're going too far. You're going too far.
What?
You done went too far in the future, because
You
I
want to
had
go all the way through it?
I had already told you in December that I liked you. Cedric the Entertainer was in spring. That was like Feb March. So you're fast forwarding, and it makes sense because you was on some shit. So it makes sense. But
Okay, we were freshmen in college. Okay, so what
yeah,
did we do? We played video games all day. We ate the terrible, nasty food that we had on campus.
yes,
We went to the movies.
yes.
That's what we did as a friend group.
Yes, but also you and I kind of like were always together. Even in the friend
Yes.
group, we didn't really like anybody else as much as we liked each other. And so we kind of always gravitated toward each other. We rode in the car together, you would drive, and I had sense. So I paid for gas. I actually paid for parking. Like I wasn't annoying. And you're a tourist. Y'all have boundaries. You don't like annoying niggas and you don't like people who don't pay their own way. I understood that. I saw that and I related to it. I said, you know what? I feel this person. This person has standards. And I realized in December, I think it was December 3rd, actually, or 4th. I,
You remember the
I
dates.
know
Okay.
it. I realized that December, oh no, oh no, I'm falling in love with this boy. And it was very distressing for me. And I was back home in I was in Oakland, and I was walking around with my cousin. I remember just sitting on the bus actually with him, and I was like lamenting the fact that I liked a boy. I was so angry because I thought I was gay. I thought I was gay.
Fair.
I am gay, but
Yes,
you
you are
you
gay.
did
You are gay.
something. I
To
don't
be
know what
clear.
you did. It pissed
For the
me off.
record.
It pissed me off. And so I told my cousin
I'm
Christopher.
special. What do you want me to do? I'm special and I'm built different.
I told my cousin Christopher, and he's like, "You gotta tell him." And then I told you, and you acted a fool. You
Did act a fool. So
now we can pick up
let me
from
give the
there. You
whole
can pick up from there. That's where we're gonna
I'll give
start.
me the whole background. So you said that you liked me and I liked you. Okay? I liked you. But I had somebody that I was friends with in high school
Mm.
to where we kind of had like a we're not dating, but we kind of both know that we probably should be dating, but we're not
You went to
dating.
prom. You went
Yeah,
to
we
prom.
went to prom together.
You went to church together.
We went to church together. This was a good friend of mine.
Y'all
And to
was
be clear, I
supposed
also
to be
was someone of the
together.
mindset. I was in that black church mindset of like, oh, you meet someone and then they become your high school sweetheart and then you get married and you. So in my head, I was, I'm a writer. I was writing the story. Okay, I, I, I built the plot and I was trying to see if the plot was real. Okay, and then I told you, I said, okay, I'm in a sorta, kinda, maybe unclear relationship with someone else.
That's what you said. And
That
I
was what I
said,
said.
that's the stupidest shit I've ever heard in my
And
life.
to be clear, it was not to be anything against you. My whole thought was I don't want to be disrespectful to this person who might think that we have some kind of a thing,
Mm.
only for them to find out that I'm with somebody else.
And
It was out of respect.
you told me I was infringing.
Okay, different conversation, different time. But what it was I liked you, and I was like, damn, you're making it hard for me. This is someone I actually like. Like, why are you in my space and making me feel things? And
You were
like,
so upset.
I'm 18 years old. I'm a freshman from Orange County. Now I'm walking around LA, city walk with you. We walking arm in arm and shit.
Holding
I was like,
hands.
what's going on?
Nigga, I felt the same way. I said, what the fuck is this? This is not, this man is a square.
But still, like, I'm not stopping none of this. This is great.
It was a
So
tough time for both of us. It was a
I
tough
said this
time for
sort of
both of
kind
us.
of made me unclear, right?
That's when you said it. That's when you said it. Yes.
And it was not to close the door. It was to say, hey, let me handle some things and be
Yeah.
respectful,
Yeah.
right? Did I handle things? No.
No, you never did,
I was
actually.
18. Okay, I was
Yeah.
18.
You sucked at
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Fast forward to Cedric the Entertainer show.
Yes.
We watched it. I think you were really tired. I think
It
you
was
had like
just boring and unfunny.
it was boring. It was not funny. And I think at some
Yeah.
point you were laying on my shoulder. I
Yeah.
think towards the end of the taping,
Yeah.
and I think I said, didn't I say I love you?
You sure did.
I think I said I love you,
That's the first time you told me you loved me.
and you were so mad.
I was livid. I was so
You
angry.
were livid with
I was
me.
like, "Oh, I'm gonna fucking kill you." Because at this point, I had told you that I was falling in love with you, and you had not said a thing. You actually didn't speak to me for 24 hours after I told you. You
And then
gave
I
me,
just acted like it didn't happen.
and then you just moved on. And I was like, so. And then you just wanted to hang out with me and hold my hand and spend all this time with me. And I was like, so. And then you go, I love you. And I said, I'm gonna beat your ass. I don't want to. Leave me the fuck alone. Just you play too
And
much.
it's, sometimes you just slip, and that's what it was. It was a slip. Like I was trying to hold back on my feelings and thoughts and emotions. I was trying to hold them all in, and then we had this nice tender moment, and it just, it came natural. And then I was like, oh shit, I'm accepting the shit. Now we still didn't date. We still didn't date. Months passed.
Because
Months.
I was like, you gotta tell me. I'm
Well,
not gonna chase after you. I'm not gonna do that.
also we're not going to address it, but a bunch of other shit went down in
A
between.
lot of shit went down. People tried
Like
to break us up.
other people was doing some
People were
crazy
trying
shit,
to, yeah, people were trying to thwart this.
lying,
Yes.
misrepresenting, crazy
Yes.
shit. Okay.
Yes.
But then, because we stayed friends,
We did.
because we vibe,
Yeah.
right? And so then, school ended.
I went to your house for your birthday.
I
You a
brought you to my
cake.
house for my birthday.
Bought you some shoes.
You made me a cake. out of box, but you made me a cake.
Sure did.
It was a yellow cake
It was a
with
chocolate
chocolate frosting.
frosting. You're right.
Yes, it was. I remember this cake.
Yes.
And you did writing on the top, and it was the writing was, but it's the thought that counts. Okay, and I appreciated the cake.
And I went to your Easter service, and everyone was like, "Is that your girlfriend? Is that your
Mm-hmm.
boo?" And
Everyone trying to be in my
I was
business.
like, "Nope, I'm not."
Messy.
Including the girl who was the sort of kind of maybe unclear who wanted to fight me. Don't forget that.
Yes. Yes. Who had someone that she brought to church?
Yes, who mean mugged me the whole time. This is weird.
Yes.
Weird.
And
Okay.
then to cap it all off, we went to
My
like
piano.
a cookout that they had the picnic.
Oh. Okay, that was in the future. That was in May. That was
Yeah,
after.
that's what I'm saying. Then May happened, my
Yes.
birthday, and
And
we
so
went
we
to
had
the
already
cookout.
told everyone we were not together. We
We
said
were
we are
not
not.
together. We told everyone no, it's not a thing. We're friends.
Yes, we just hold hands and sleep in the bed together and love each other very
And
much
play video games through the night
all
and
day,
laugh and
and just hold each other's
yeah,
hands and,
that's
and
all.
walk
Spend
arm
all
in
of our
arm
time together.
and go
Go to each
everywhere
other's
together
classes, take
and go on
notes,
dates.
and
Yes,
that's all.
that's all.
And so we went to this girl's family's cookout at a
That's right.
picnic.
The girl, the sort of kind of maybe
So
unclear
we're
girl.
kind of maybe unclear. We went to their event,
Yes.
and my cousin walked up to us and said, "Why aren't y'all dating?"
And I looked at you and said, "Great question.
And
Why
I
aren't
said,
we dating?"
and I said, "I don't know."
And I should have beat the shit out of you right there. And I should have just said, "Pow."
It
I
would have
said,
been warranted. It would
I
have
said,
been.
you know what, nigga? You played.
Could have been mad.
Yes. And I said, what the hell? I said, what the hell you mean you don't know? You do know. I told you I liked you and you stopped speaking to me for an entire day. So you know exactly why we're not together.
Yeah.
And then
And then I was like, how about let's try it.
we dealt with your fear of I don't want to mess it up. And if I date you, what's going to happen to our friendship?
That's true. I have found my person. You're my number one. Like listen, it was freshman year of the college, and it felt like we were in like Stomp the Yard. Like it felt like we were in a black movie that was scripted with all the crazy, stupid shit that went down.
It did. It did for that.
Um, and at the end of that, we made it through together.
We did.
And I
And
was
we got
like,
together.
this is someone who can't go. This is a non-negotiable for me.
Oh,
And I'm scared that I will fuck it up.
oh,
And then I won't have my non-negotiable no.
oh. Well, May 25th, 2003, we got together.
Got together.
And I would say the rest is history, but it's not. There's
It's
a lot
not.
more to it than that.
And the rest was not a fairy tale.
It was not a fairy tale. But what was really cool about it is that was freshman year. So sophomore year, junior year, senior year, we were together.
The whole way.
And, that's how we became that black couple. We'd walk around campus and people would be like, oh my gosh, ain't you dating that short guy? And I was like, well, I'm 6'4", but he's like, well, at the time we thought you were 6'1".
I never said I was 6'1".
You did say you were 6'1".
No, you always are trying to give me that extra inch. I've always said I was 6 feet.
Now we're
I've
going
never measured myself to be 6'1" ever in life.
Either way, you said you was 6, and you're neither one. You're not 6 feet or 6'1". You're 5'11".
Up for debate.
It's not a
Just because one time one doctor said 5'11", it's not going to erase the entirety of my life.
Yes, it is.
It's not going to erase all the other doctors
That's
and
how
all the other
That's
measurements.
how height works.
I think my license says 6 feet. We're going to go with what the
You
government.
lied to them.
We're going to go with what the government says and agreed
The
on.
government didn't say it. You told them that.
But listen,
You
that's
lied.
an official document.
Anyway, the point being, you are shorter than me.
If the police look for me, they're gonna look for a 6 foot tall black man with a bussin' beard and blue glasses. That's what they're gonna look for.
And I'm gonna look for a liar. So what I'm saying is, they was like, you dating that short guy. And I was like, well, you're 5'5" and he's 6 feet. So he's still taller than you. But yes, I am dating someone who's shorter than me. So the bus drivers, the cashiers at the food court, the librarians were all like, you're that black couple. So we became that black couple in Darenifer. That was
Yeah, that was the other one.
the two names that we had all through undergrad. And that's how we became that black couple.
Which I would say I still wear with a badge of honor.
Me too.
To know that we were on USC's campus and we were known as that black couple
That black couple.
across
'Cause
the
there was a
campus.
bunch. There was a bunch.
They knew us. They said,
Yep,
"Y'all are that
yeah.
one."
There were a bunch of black couples, but they liked us better than everybody else. And you know what?
Don't
Valid.
blame them.
I get it. I get it.
Makes
So
sense.
that's our origin story. That's how people can understand how we got here. We're gonna do a second parter that's gonna tell us how we got from California all the way across to the East Coast now with 3 kids on our third house, a puppy. Like, there's a lot more story, but at least that's the introduction.
Yeah. Just so anybody that's new, anyone who's just coming in late to the party, now you know who you're dealing with. At least the genesis of who you're
Yes,
dealing with.
a
The
liar,
real nut stuff
a
starts at the
liar.
it
You're dealing
starts
with
I
a
was gonna say it
liar.
starts at the wedding day, but it's not even at the wedding day. It's the run up to a wedding is
Who are you
when
dealing
the
with? You're
craziness
dealing
really
with a
started.
Taurus who tells lies and a Virgo who's been pushing through the entire time.
You just gonna call me a liar?
You lied.
What I lie about?
You lied about liking me because you sure didn't tell me that shit. You didn't tell me. You did not tell me you liked me.
I
You did.
didn't tell you that. I told you I loved you.
That was months after
Yes,
the
but
silent
I
treatment.
did say it.
You lied about your height. That's the second thing.
Not a lie.
It is a lie. Put your finger down. Put your finger down. All I'm saying is the story gets better. The story gets better. That's all that matters. And there's fewer lies. Love you. Bye.